そうか。術式展開。
Welcome back, y'all. Today we're going to be talking about why world events succeeded and Conquest didn't. Fundamentally, the Conquest update was flawed from the beginning. The very start of the update was held by a vote on whether or not to do guild base wars, Conquest, or world events. And what we ended up voting for was not Conquest, world events. So the devs decided to start both of them at the exact same time and focus a little bit more on Conquest. And they hoped to get Conquest out before world events and then have world events be a later update. But, as of this week, we know that's not what happened. Conquest turned out to be such a challenge for the Deepwoken developers, being a MOBA and being a whole different game mode, that they spent 2 years on it. Yes, 2 years on it, and it is still currently not done and not even in a playable state, because it was shown that if a game mode is in a playable state, like Battle Royale was, that they do like little tests here and there to see if it would actually be able to be playable by the general player base. But that's not what happened for Conquest. Conquest has still yet to be even touched by any player who's not a tester. World events, on the other hand, is not a game mode. It's purely overworld content that brings the player base together for a PvE based event that the whole server can participate in. It brings the community together, and it also allows for us to get new items, get new drops, farm, and it was the game mode that people wanted. So it was both an easier game mode for the devs to create because they already do PvE monster stuff all the time, and it was also a more well-received update than Conquest was, because the main issue with Conquest wasn't even the fact that it was hard to develop for the developers, but the fact that, on top of the fact it also was a game mode that most players weren't interested in, myself included. I think I'll try out Conquest maybe once, maybe twice, but most of the player base struggles to even get like 5 people on for the current boss in the depths. That's a struggle. So having a 5v5 game mode in Deepwoken with some cosmetics or vanity or whatever items are coming with Conquest now, because they already dropped all the other stuff they said was going to release with Conquest right now this week. There's no real incentive for a player to play Conquest when they could just play Chime, or they could just play Battle Royale. 2 game modes that are far more simple for the general Deepwoken player base and actually fit what we do currently in Deepwoken, instead of being basically a whole separate game entirely. A fundamentally flawed update that never could release. That is what Conquest is. And I'm proud of the devs for finally listening to the community and actually just releasing world events and just kind of putting Conquest on the back burner, because they realized how difficult it was for them to develop it. And honestly, waiting for Conquest was such a waste of time, because it literally made Deepwoken worse by having Conquest being a waited for update. Now I think the devs, with world events being released, a actual major, somewhat major update that was released, we can actually have, something else that we can, gnaw our little gremlin hands on while the devs can do their work and work on, hopefully, not Conquest. Sorry, Deepwoken devs, I still don't like Conquest. Hopefully they can work on Guild Wars, another well-requested update, or Void Tower. Something else PvE, or something a little bit more simple PvE. Or, rework the current stuff that is still bad, like the Ignition Dungeon, the Origin in general, and as well as War Mode. But if they can do that, I think Deepwoken will be in a great place, because it is already in a somewhat decent place right now, but it'll be even higher elevated to the game it truly is meant to be. All right. That's all I wanted to talk about. See ya.
Left alone to set her free. Falling down, I keep on falling now.